kids have special needs. Like on top of just being kids, right? And being all alone. Like,
Yeah.
how is that freedom? How is that like not cruel? How is that moral? And like,
Yeah. I
and
think,
just the whole way like religion's been hijacked to just justify cruelty.
yeah. And I think what one thing that really resonates with me too, like the last week, or not just last week, but just in general, but I think like you're saying, people are more and more being aware because a lot of people are just like bury their head in the sand. Let's just focus on your own shit. 4 years will pass really quickly, blah, 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 all this stuff. I've heard it all. Because they're like, why do you care so much? You know, like
Hmm.
I have a friend that I had actively like stop talking to him. I had to mute him because
Hmm.
every time I see his messages, it's like it inflames me because he likes to
Hmm.
provoke me. That's how we get
Hmm.
good conversation. I think a lot of it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily,
Yeah.
but anyway, but
Yeah.
like my whole point is I think a lot of them are waking up. They're like, because there will be something, because there's so many crazy things out there. There will be something
Hmm.
they see and they're like, oh, wait, what the F? Like,
Like that's the line, right?
yeah, like
It's
that's the
weird to
line.
see what people's lines are. Yeah.
Like, and the crazy thing is, it takes, like you said, children having to represent themselves, being ripped away from foster homes, and like
Hmm. Hmm.
everything, like a pregnant woman being detained during the ICE raids,
Hmm.
or there's like reports about whatever human rights. I mean, this desensitization or was already there, but
Yeah.
now because we have to survive, and then now we have to like desensitize ourselves to like be like, okay, wait, do I need to see something? Because I even have friends who weren't going to vote for like the primaries. Like that's like literal action that you can take
Hmm. Hmm.
to not
Hmm.
have a accused rapist. I don't remember if he
Hmm.
was convicted. Like all these things, be a
Yeah.
mayor of one of our major cities, right? That
Yeah.
are actively being under attack. Um, by or on the list of being like one of the cities that is going to have more troops and whatever. We're going to go into that, but I'm just that's the part that really drives me a little crazy. And of course, so many people regret their votes and all that because now it affects them. And
Hmm.
it always seems very daunting. And I think what we're talking about here is like maybe it just makes you feel not as guilty or not as whatever because you're doing what you can, but do what you can and not, like you said, just, you know, not stay silent and be like existing and like we take up space and like this country will never just be like that one guy we will not name and that's
Hmm.
how they all look like him. I mean, we don't
Hmm.
all want to look like bald white men. I'm sorry. So, I think that's the whole point of this. And I don't know if I've been as passionate about this as any other projects that have come my
Hmm.
way. And like
Hmm.
the last few months has been very interesting. Just in my
Hmm.
personal life too. We're not going to
Yeah.
get into that right now, but like
Uh-huh.
just this is like super near and dear, right? And like if my mom knew about this, she'd be like, "No, don't bring attention."
I
But like,
know. I
when do
know.
we do this? What, like when we get deported to China or what? Like I'm a natural
Yeah.
citizen, so is
Yeah.
she, and so like, yes, we are probably on like the next on the list. I mean, I have
Yeah.
friends who don't know that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, hey, we're competing here, but like
Yeah.
Asians are the second most deported and
Yeah.
detained.
I know. I know. I know.
Nobody seems to know that because obviously on TV, like a lot more, like Latinos or Hispanics are
Hmm.
being targeted, but like
Hmm.
the Asian community, we just don't talk about it because it's like,
Hmm.
because you don't want to bring attention to yourself, right? Like if a crime happens in my neighborhood, there will be no witnesses. That's why they ask for video, like videos, because they're like, nobody's gonna talk. We have like
Yeah.
neighborhood watch here for the grandmas, but like nobody's gonna talk because they don't want to like bring any problems. They don't want to highlight their own things, and enough. We can't just be like the silent, crazy model minority that only talks about not getting into Harvard. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think there's something there too, right? Like we recognize like privilege of our status in being able to speak out. Like I consider myself very privileged in that I was born here in the sense that it's harder for them to try to get rid of me, right? Like that's going to be like that'll make headlines potentially, right? Maybe, I don't know. Not because I'm important, but because that designation used to mean something.
yeah,
And to the point where, my dad really wants us to get dual citizenship so we can, deal with property that he has there. And that used to be like a no-brainer, but now I'm worried to do it. I don't feel comfortable doing it because what if, there's a law introduced that says, you can be deported or your citizenship can be canceled if you have another citizenship,
Yep.
right? Like, oh, it's fine if we cancel your citizenship, you have another citizenship. And that is something I never considered, that is I don't even want to say it's a fear, it's a possibility.
Yes. That's the scary thing, right? Like, luckily with China, it's either you're with us or you're against us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
actually enjoy them. I mean, but my
But
dad,
as a naturalized citizen, there could be an argument made there, right?
100%. And now they don't even
Yeah.
deport you back to your country
I
or
know. I
the
know. Yeah.
country of origin, right? My
Yeah.
dad existed for a long time, becoming a citizen. Um, so he took the citizenship test in, his native language, which is Cantonese, Mandarin, whatever.
Hmm.
And but it's like translated through me. So like he resisted for a long time. And I think
Hmm.
there's like these arguments about people who are not assimilating and whatever, but I'm like, have you tried to learn another language when you're in
Hmm.
your 40s?
Hmm.
I don't think it's
And there
that
didn't used to be an official language. That's a new thing. Like that's something that I think people don't realize is the United States didn't used to have an official language, I think, until very recently.
in
Yeah.
terms of the citizenship or just in general.
In general.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but
I mean, we
uh,
could look up what that means, but
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
just
So I feel like there's a lot of like fun things to talk about and funny things to talk about, but this whole thing kind of came out of we feel like we need to do something. We feel like we just need to talk about this and get information out, or maybe even like get a community or connect with people or find ways to find that like joy in the midst of all of this like craziness where we're essentially being like kind of pitted against each other,
yep,
right? Like, oh, that's just happening to them. I'm just gonna like, there's easy ways for you to like bury your head into their sand and say like that's another group of people. But at the end of the day, we're all people.
yep,
All the other divisions that come is all made up stuff that we all make up to like, you know, hoard resources, basically.
yeah. And I think it's it's good to just know that you didn't go through it yourself, right? It's like some of the things that really resonates with me whenever I see it, I'm like, oh, people I never brought lunch to school when I was in grade school just because I didn't think about it because like our food is not portable like a sandwich.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
that's just not the thing. But in China, you already have your thing. You just bring the
Hmm.
lunch pail and then they give you the food. And so
Yeah.
like I it's stuff that you learn and it just feels a lot less like painful when you are not um what's it called? Uh like feeling so alone. Especially if you're, maybe it's not everybody has a great relationship with their family too. It's like it's
Hmm.
hard to just talk about it with them. Maybe they don't want
Yeah.
to talk about it. Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't even teach you the language of like, your background or whatever, and you
Hmm.
just feel like, hey, you can only connect with your kind of same generation or whatever.
Hmm.
It's difficult.
Hmm.
I just don't think like even my brother who's 12 years younger, I don't think he understands what I'm talking about.